everything may have just changed. This could be the biggest mistake of someone's life. We are talking about a legendary character, a foundational pillar of Port Charles, potentially facing a permanent and devastating end. Jason Morgan, dead. Again. But this time, for good. I know, it sounds absolutely insane. But look at the signs. Look at the shifting pieces on the board. We all cheered when Steve Burton made his highly anticipated return in the monumental 16,000th episode. We watched him step back into the light after surviving WSB captivity. We watched Jocelyn Jacks make a dangerous secret deal with WSB head Z, pinning all of Ross Cullum's horrific crimes on the deceased Cassius Phazon just to secure Jason and Valentin Cassidyne's freedom. Jason is finally free. But what if this freedom is nothing more than a ticking clock? Here is where things get messy. I have a massive new theory, and honestly, I hope I am completely wrong. I am starting to think that Steve Burton's return as Jason Morgan might just be a short-term stint rather than a permanent homecoming. Think about it. Jason has completely changed since he came back to Port Charles. If you look closely, he is no longer the ruthless enforcer who blindly rushes into every single mob war to protect Sonny Corinthos. He is no longer the guy willing to solve the entire town's bloody problem. Instead, his entire focus has shifted to Danny Morgan. Cheween A leads to Cheween B. Jason takes Danny on a father-son vacation. He returns and immediately drops a bombshell on Sonny Corinthos. He tells his mob boss best friend that his time in WSB captivity fundamentally changed him. He is cutting ties with the mob. He is prioritizing his son. He is actively avoiding unnecessary confrontation. He even pushed for a peaceful reconciliation between Danny and Drew Kane. Guys, this is a Jason Morgan we have never seen before. He is seeking family values. He is trying to walk away from a lifetime of extreme violence. And in the soap opera world, when a legacy character suddenly finds peace and steps away from the action, it usually means the writers are preparing for a tragic, permanent farewell. But that is not even the biggest surprise. By stepping away from Sonny's organization, Jason has inadvertently stripped away his ultimate layer of protection. Without the full backing of the Corinthos cartel, Jason is exposed. And right now, Sonny is too distracted by ADA Justine Turner, the fallout of Jen Sidwell's arrest, and his petty plot using Brick to sabotage Carly Spencer's romance with Valentin Cassadine. Sonny is not watching Jason's back. Jason is out in the open, trying to be a normal dad. And that changes everything. Because in Port Charles, trying to be normal is the quickest way to get a target painted on your back. And then everything spiraled. If my theory is true, and Jason is actually being set up for a tragic exit, the biggest question is, who is going to pull the trigger? Who is going to be the one to take down the legendary Jason Morgan? Let's break down the suspects, because the dominoes are already falling. First up, we have the ultimate wild card, Hudson. We know this mysterious business executive, played by Troy Lennon Appel, is debuting on July 30. He is coming to Port Charles with deep, shadowy connections, and he is desperately searching for a specific person. Some think he might be looking for Delilah Wilson, or maybe he is the biological father of baby Phoebe. But what if Hudson's agenda is much darker? What if Hudson is executing a massive corporate or criminal takeover in Port Charles? If Hudson is hiding a massive, dangerous plan, he will quickly realize that Jason Morgan is the biggest threat in town. Even a retired Jason Morgan is a lethal obstacle. Hudson might decide that he cannot risk Jason interfering. Twin B makes Twin C more dangerous. Hudson could launch a preemptive strike. An organized, untraceable hit to eliminate Jason before Jason even realizes a war has started. If Hudson wants to clear the board and claim Port Charles for himself, taking out the legendary enforcer is the ultimate power move. But wait, it gets worse. What if the threat isn't a calculated mastermind, but a desperate man backed into a corner? Enter Ethan Lovett. Guys, this is where it gets incredibly interesting. Ethan is currently a walking disaster. He is running from someone in his past. He literally took a bullet to the butt at the art gallery to protect Ava Jerome. He is bleeding, he is panicking, and he is lying through his teeth. He confessed to Ava that he is not Phoebe's biological father, but now he is trying to backtrack. He is trying to blackmail Ava, dragging her to see Sonny Corinthos, and playing a very dangerous game of survival. Desperate men make deadly mistakes. What if Jason Morgan accidentally stumbles into Ethan's chaotic web? Jason is fiercely protective of his inner circle. If Ethan's frantic attempts to escape his past end up threatening Danny, Carly, or anyone Jason cares about, Jason will not hesitate to step in. And if Jason corners Ethan, Ethan is already terrified and armed. In a moment of pure blind panic, a cornered Ethan Lovett might just pull the trigger. It wouldn't be a calculated assassination. It would be a chaotic, accidental tragedy born out of sheer desperation. What happened next may be even worse. Because there is a third suspect. And if you ask me, this is the most heartbreaking and terrifying possibility of all. Anna Devane, the chief of police, the hero of Port Charles. Could Anna Devane actually be the one to kill Jason Morgan? I am not saying Anna would ever murder Jason in cold blood. But we have to look at the horrifying reality of Anna's current mental state. Anna is completely losing her grip on reality. Ever since she returned from her treatment facility in France, she has been keeping a massive, dangerous secret. She is being haunted by vivid, terrifying hallucinations of Peter August. Peter is inside her head, whispering toxic advice, manipulating her trauma, and pushing her down a destructive, vengeful path. Anna is operating under severe psychological distress caused by Ross Cullum's manipulation and Cesar Faison's fake theatrics. She is hiding these hallucinations from Valentine Cassadine, from Felicia Scorpio, and from everyone at the PCPD. Here's how the domino effect turns fatal. Anna just ousted Dante Falconeri and reclaimed her spot as police chief. She is secretly using her position to run a dangerous investigation into the missing evidence at the PCPD. She is already making massive mistakes. She incorrectly assumed that Cassius Faison was the one who shot Ross Cullum on the pier, completely unaware that it was actually young Rocco Falconeri who pulled the trigger to save Jason. Jack Brennan had to shock her with the truth, warning her to back off. Anna is paranoid, armed, and hallucinating a monster. Imagine this scenario. Jason is out at night, maybe investigating something for Danny, or maybe just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Anna arrives on the scene, her gun drawn, but her broken mind doesn't see Jason Morgan. Her traumatized brain projects the face of Peter August onto Jason. She thinks she is finally taking down her greatest demon. She fires. And just like that, a fatal, catastrophic misunderstanding takes the life of Jason Morgan. Can you even imagine the fallout? The ripple effect would destroy Port Charles. Carly Spencer would absolutely lose her mind. She just stood by Jocelyn's hospital bed, crying and begging her daughter to leave the WSB because she cannot bear the thought of losing another child after Morgan Corinthos. If Carly loses Jason, her rock, her best friend, her soulmate, she would burn the entire town to the ground. Sonny Corinthos would unleash a bloody war, completely abandoning his new romance with Justine Turner. Britt Westbourne, who just slapped Jason in a tense reunion at the hospital, would be shattered by guilt and heartbreak. And Danny Morgan? Danny would be orphaned right after finally getting his father back. The emotional devastation would be unparalleled. Now, let me be very clear with you guys. All of this is purely my own speculation based on the heavy, dramatic shifts we are seeing on screen right now. There is absolutely zero official confirmation that Steve Burton is leaving General Hospital again. There is no leaked script saying Jason Morgan is going to die. I truly hope this is just a wild theory, because Jason remains one of the most iconic, irreplaceable characters in the history of the show. But you cannot ignore how perfectly the pieces are aligning. Jason is vulnerable. He is isolated from the mob. Hudson is arriving with a mysterious agenda. Ethan is a desperate, cornered animal with a gun. And Anna Devane is a traumatized police chief hallucinating a dead villain. The tension is suffocating, and the situation is rapidly spiraling out of control. What do you guys think? Is Jason Morgan actually approaching his final chapter, or is this just a dramatic turning point to launch him into a brand new era? Is his focus on Danny a setup for a tragic goodbye, or just genuine character growth? And if the absolute worst happens and Jason faces a deadly confrontation, who do you think will be standing on the other side of the gun? Hudson? Ethan? Anna? Or someone else entirely? A massive secret is about to be exposed. A deadly plan is already in motion, and someone is walking straight into a trap they cannot see. A character is in grave danger, and the entire foundation of Port Charles is trembling. You absolutely cannot miss the next episode.
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.